what's your role with On to Victory, the major collective for Auburn's NIL, and where do you want to see that go?
Yeah, NIL is a big part of college football, college basketball, baseball, soccer, whatever you want to name any sport. NIL plays a big part now because a lot of kids want to, make money off their name, image, and likeness. And like most of it's not pay for play, but as well as that if you're on the field and you're playing or you're in the basketball game and your name is coming up on the scoreboard and people are seeing it on ESPN and CBS, that makes your value more marketable. So it gives you an opportunity to make a little bit more for yourself in the NIL realm. For me, I'm kind of like a GM of NIL for us. Mostly I kind of make sure the guys are doing their requirements, make sure they're where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. Also helping break down the contracts and everything with our collective. Make sure we're all on the same page from a communication standpoint, but also just helping these kids understand, what their value is as well, on the field and off the field. And I also use it as an opportunity to be a mentor to a lot of these young guys. I've been in a lot of them shoes. I played college football. I played in the NFL. And so I try to be, an open book for them as well, outside of talking about finances, but, just talking about, man to man, what to expect and what you got to do and really be honest with these guys, man. That's the main thing. Everybody, think they're going pro. And I tell them, I say, I'm not trying to mess up anyone's dreams. I say, but we also have to be reality about all of this. And the fact is that, only about, 95% of the guys that come through that door don't get a shot to play in the National Football League. I said, but you still have an opportunity to get ahead in life because I tell them NIL is great starter money to life. I said, but NFL is your life-changing generational family money. I said, but even if you don't get to the NFL, after you've made NIL money for 4 years, you need to learn how to budget while you're in college. You need to learn how to put yourself to be disciplined. So when you come out of school, that you're already ahead. 98% of kids that come out of college are already in debt because of what? Student loan debt. You get a chance to come out of college and everything. Don't have to worry about paying back student loan debt, but you also have a great start to life. So it puts you ahead of 98% of the people in the world. And I know a lot of folks will say, well, then why do they get paid? Well, at the end of the day, they still deserve to get paid because the school makes a lot of money off what these kids do from a standpoint of what they do on the field, on the court, off the the baseball, soccer, all of that stuff. So, you still have to, there's an equal value here. Yes, you get an education, but a lot of these guys, they have to balance practice. They have to balance the game. They can't go get a job because they're practicing or they're preparing for a game. And then they still got to study. They still got to write papers. They still got to do all these different things that's required of them. So life doesn't stop. So, where a normal student, they can go get a job if they wanted to. And I remember back when I was in school, you couldn't even get a job. If you did, you couldn't work no more than 3 hours a week. I was like, how you gonna make money?
Right,
So
right.
so it's a great benefit if they use it right. And as well as man, anytime that we talk about money or anytime money is involved in anything, it can also be a plus for a lot of people. But in some people, it can be a crutch because it causes some people to have confrontation with one another because of that issue. And that's why I say being in this position, man, kind of gives me an opportunity to break a lot of this stuff down to a lot of parents and a lot of, family mentors, trainers, owners, coaches, agents. That's the other thing. Agents is involved in this now. And I think the NCAA does need to get some type of parameters on it because right now it's really hard on these coaches to be able to coach a kid and not know if he's going to be there next year because he could have that 1-year transfer or he can go anywhere else. So if the kid, so there's a thing called, how do you know if a kid's going to commit to you for 4 years? How you know he's going to be loyal to you for 4 years? I know coaches can come and go at the same time, but, we're in this position right now that, it's always a wait and see game. You put your best foot forward. You hope that, the kid is enjoying himself and everything, but because you want this kid for 4 years so you can help develop him, so, a lot of people they're not patient enough because most of the kids, you're a freshman, man, you coming in, there's a learning curve to this on the field and off the field. So we just got to understand that patience is still a virtue.
So when it comes down to NIL, for those that don't know, how does NIL really work? Like, when do incoming freshmen actually get an NIL check? Like, how does the NIL system work? And that NIL being name, image, and likeness for those that don't know, but how does that really work?
Yeah, it works from the standpoint of like a kid has to first be enrolled in school.
Okay.
So before he can actually come to our office and sign an NIL contract, he has to first and foremost he has to be enrolled, and then he has to attend class for a full day. And once he's gone to enrolled, and once he's gone to class, and now he's a full-time Auburn student, then at that point he can come by our NIL office and then sign his contract. And then once he comes by, he review it. He reviews his contract. Our office review the contract with him. Our office sit down with these kids. They go through everything with the kids. We also have an accounting side that we talk to our kids about and say, hey, because you're not an employee, we can't force you to take taxes out of your check. But you can allow us to take taxes out of your check if you agree to it for us to do that for you. So that way, at the end of the year, you're not worrying about how much money I owe on taxes or trying to go figure out did I spend too much money because I didn't hold anything back for taxes. So we try to let those kids, and we always hope that they allow us to take the taxes out of their checks before they receive them, because that way it helps them to grow, and it helps them create a budget for themselves. Once
Right.
they understand how much they're getting each month after taxes, now you can kind of create a budget. How much can I put in savings? What I need to live off of? So we try to do all those things for them and helping them not just receive money, but educate them about what they're getting and how to handle it. And we also have a marketing side of it that we're able to try to go out in the community and find marketing opportunities for these kids. And, we don't make any money off of it because we're not their agents. We're in NIL here to help our student athletes. But if they have an agent, now they got to pay an agent fee for that if he goes out and find it. But if we go out and find something for them, they don't have to pay us for that. So, that's their money. We just got to make sure that their requirements match so that they don't get in trouble if they stay in line with compliance from NCAA standpoint.
So, as a alumni of Auburn, myself, and somebody who works every day for my hard-earned money, what is your pitch to Auburn fans, period, to say, you know what, come to On the Victory if you want to see a good product on the field. Give some money to On the Victory so we can make sure that we can compete with the rest of the schools in the country. What is On the Victory's pitch to Auburn fans in order for them to donate money?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I always tell people, it's either get involved, stay on the porch, or get in the car and ride. Because from this standpoint, like this is the way college football is going, and it's not going anywhere. And you can't sit at home and complain if we don't have the same amount of athletes as the Georgia and the Bamas and the LSU's, because they're getting ahead of us from an NIL standpoint. If we don't get involved as a community, then you can't fuss if we're not competing for championships.
Right.
So if you want us to win and you want us to have an opportunity to have a winning program, then we need to be able to compete as well in the NIL format to make sure that that's not a reason that we're losing,
Right.
that we have all the resources that we need and everything. And yes, you always have your big guys that help out and everything, but NIL has created an opportunity for people to go and subscribe, and they can be as small as $30 a month or as large as $1,000 a month. It
Okay.
just all depends on what you're comfortable with. And it's just not for people that went to Auburn. It's even if you love Auburn, you just love Auburn, you're just a fan of Auburn, and you want to get involved, it gives you the opportunity to do that. And I always tell people, they always ask me, so where do we go? I said, well, you can go on the website, ontovictorynil.com or ontovictory.com, and and you will see it, and it'll show you like the different subscription levels and different things that you can do from that standpoint if you want to get involved. But that's the name of the game, man. It's just, I know a lot of people not on board with it, and there are some that are on board with it, but a lot of these kids do need help. And after being involved with this, there are a lot of kids that have some troubles back at home that they, mom or dad may not be there,
Right.
and everything. They need help to help a sister or brother, or they need help to help a mom or something with a light bill or, a water bill or something, because they used to be there in high school and they was able to work to make a little money to pay one or two bills and everything. Now they've exempt from the home, and now that mom still depends on them to be able to help them a little bit and everything. So a lot of these kids are married. Some of these kids have gotten married in college, and some of them have kids, and they got to be able to provide for their children. So there's a lot of stories out there. I know a lot of people say, man, these guys get everything, but it's not true. They work extremely hard, but there are some that really, really need it, man. And it definitely takes a lot of pressure and stress off these guys where they can kind of focus on their academics and they can kind of focus on the field when they're practicing and getting ready for games because they don't have that added pressure and stress from home. So that's the biggest thing about NIL that I've seen it do for a lot of these kids and everything. I try to talk them out of lavish stuff, like worrying about cars and houses and all that. I try to talk them out of that. I say, look, man, like still keep the main thing the main thing. Get to
Mm.
college, graduate, you know what I'm saying? Like get your academics, practice, work hard, try to compete and win championships. And then if you have a chance to play at the next level, go all the way for it. I was just like, that's your dream, shoot for it. I was just like, but at the same time, make sure you keep the main thing the main thing. NIL, like I said, it's starter money to life. Create an opportunity for yourself. It's not generational money. You're trying to work towards that. But at the same time, you need to keep the main thing so you don't lose focus and sight on why you're here.